If you like organizing tasks, tracking progress, or staying on top of things, Excel has the right tools for building a simple and efficient to-do list. Today, I'll show you two simple methods of creating a to-do list that will cross the completed tasks, track overall progress, and also highlight the overdue tasks. Let's get into it. Here we have a dataset that we're going to use for making the to-do list. The first step is to select the range of the dataset and make a table out of it. So go to Insert tab and click on Table. Here make sure my table has headers is checked and click OK. Now we have a table that we can change the appearance, and I would also suggest renaming it. If you want to follow along, you can download the workbook from the link in the description. The next step is to add another column called Status. And within this column, we are going to insert a checkbox. If you have the Microsoft Excel 365 subscription, you can use this method. If you're using an older version, stay tuned because the second method you can use on any Excel version. So go to Insert and click on Checkbox. Now we can format it so the checkbox will stay to the center and we can drag down it. If we click on the first checkbox within the formula bar, we can see it's mentioned false. This is the state of the checkbox. So if we tick it, it changes to true. If we untick it, it changes to false. So this true or false we will use with the conditional formatting to format the rows within our table. Let's select the range from the table, go to conditional formatting, new rules. We are going to use a formula, and the only thing we are going to write is equal E5, which is the first checkbox within our table. We are also going to make E absolute, so we are going to put the $sign in front. Now we can format the text. We can strike through the text, we can make it italic, maybe change it to a different color such as gray. Now we click OK. So now if we tick the task, the content of the table changes. The next thing to do is to make another conditional formatting that will highlight with red the overdue tasks. To do that, we can select again the whole content, including the checkboxes, go to conditional formatting and new. Now use formula to determine which cells to format, and here we are going to write a function. We are going to say if today is bigger than the value from the column C, and we are going to remove the absolute from the row number, then formatted with red. So we will fill it with red and we'll make the font to white. So now the current date is 15th of December and we have 2 tasks overdue. But we are not done yet. We need another condition that will also take into consideration the fact that the task has been completed or not. So we can go back to conditional formatting, manage rules. Here we can select this worksheet to see all the conditional formatting within this worksheet and edit this rule. And beside this logic, we will also insert the end function. Then we will put a comma and we will say if E5, which is the first checkbox, and we will remove the absolute from the row number, equals to false. Close from bracket and enter and OK. So now if we tick the box, the task is completely conditional formatted. If you want to toggle multiple checkboxes at once, you can select them and press on space. What we can do next is to make a progress bar. So here within the cell B2, we can write progress bar. And then we can select cell D2 and E2 and merge them. We are going to create a progress bar by getting the number of tasks completed and dividing them by the number of total tasks. If we go to cell G5 and if we take the value from the first checkbox, we have the state true. And here we can tweak this status a little bit and convert it to a number. If we go to the formula bar and we insert it a minus, the value is changed to -1. If we insert another minus, the value is changed to 1. If we uncheck it, the value changes to 0. So by using this trick, we convert the false and true state to a 0 and 1. So now if we go to space for the progress bar and we start writing the sum and then we insert two minuses, and then we need to select the column with the checkboxes. Since we created a table, the range is referenced like this. So we have the name of the table and in square brackets we have the name of the column. Then we close round bracket and we divide by the number of total tasks. To count the number of total tasks, we are going to use the count a function. And here we can start writing the name of our table, to-do list 1. Then we open square bracket and we have our columns displayed. We are going to choose the task description. If we press on tab, the column is selected. Then we close square bracket, we close round bracket and enter. So we have 0.25 of completed tasks. If we uncheck this box, we have 0. So now we can use conditional formatting to create the progress bar. Let's select the cell, go to conditional formatting, go to data bars, more rules. Here, change automatic to a number, and here, change the automatic to a number. So our minimum value is 0 and the maximum value will be 1. We will change the solid fill to a gradient fill and the color to something darker. And now if we start checking the boxes, we start getting the bar filled. Now it is left to convert the number to percent and we have 75%. The good thing about using the tables is that if we want to add another task, it will be automatically added to the table and hence to the progress bar. So if we drag down the checkboxes and we start completing them, we can see that the tasks is taken into the consideration. Now we need to add here a date so we don't have it with red. And if we check the box, the conditional formatting also applies to this new task. With this being done, let's copy this spreadsheet and create a to-do list without these checkboxes. On older versions of Excel, you still can use the checkboxes, but a different type. To insert them, we'll have to go to Developer tab. If you do not have it, you can go to File, Options, Customize ribbon, and make sure the Developer checkbox is ticked. Okay, and now if we go to Developer tab, we can see the Insert tab. We click on it, and here we can see buttons, lists, and checkboxes. Let's click on a checkbox and create it in the cell E5. Now we can move it and arrange it to the middle, and we can delete the name of the checkbox in here and then click anywhere else and we have the checkbox. Now it is left to create the column. Let's call it status, and now we can drag it down and we have checkboxes that we can tick and untick. The issue here is that with this type of checkboxes, we don't have yet their status. So if we tick them in the formula bar, we don't have a true or a false. To get them, we need to right click, format control, and here within the cell link, we need to choose a cell where we will link the state of the checkbox. We can click on the cell adjacent to the checkbox and enter, and OK. Unfortunately, you cannot link multiple checkboxes at once without using a VBA macro. So this time we will avoid it and we will link them manually. So after we linked all of them, when we tick them, we get a true. When we untick, we get a false. So we could add a column with the state of the function. We will call it state. And for some reason, the column was not included into our table, but we can change that manually. Click on the table, go to table design, and then click on resize table. Here, click on the icon and select the new range. Now press on enter. So from this point, we can correct the progress bar. So if we click on it, we can see we have a reference error. Let's delete it, and we need to count again the number of checkboxes that are ticked, and the column for doing that is column called state. So let's select the range and enter. So we have 0. If we start ticking the checkboxes, the progress bar is filling up. The big disadvantage of this type of checkboxes is that we are not able to tick and untick multiple checkboxes at once. So if we select all checkboxes and press on space, nothing happens. Now we need to fix the conditional formatting. Let's go to conditional formatting and manage the rules. And now select again the references for the state of the checkboxes. Click on edit rule, and here we need to write in F5 because this is the first row with the state of the checkbox, and we make the F column absolute and we apply it. So this conditional formatting is working, and now we need to fix the date formatting. We need to change the column F5 and make F column absolute, and OK, and OK. So if we start unchecking the boxes, it will conditional format with red, but we're still not done yet. We need to correct a little bit the red formatting. So go to conditional formatting, manage, and here we need to change the range from B5 to D9 to B5 to F9. So this way all cells will be highlighted with red, and then this column we can hide. I hope this video will inspire you to use more frequently conditional formatting and checkboxes. If you found the tutorial useful, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. It helps and motivates a lot. If you enjoyed using conditional formatting, you might like this video, so check it out. My name is Christian, and see you into the next one.